Welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast featuring members of the Win with Dice team. I'm Calvin, and I'm joined here by Ramon.
What's up, guys? This is the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast all about tabletop RPGs. Calvin and I like to casual approach to the hobby, so on this podcast, we like to talk about the games that we run and the games that we play, and the cool, wonderful people we get to experience the hobby with. If this is your first time hearing about tabletop RPGs, or anything that we discuss on the channel, which is mostly that, what are you doing? Go find yourself a table, go have some fun. Come back and listen to the podcast afterwards. Calvin won't mind, promise. But if you are a player at someone's table, maybe it's your turn to jump behind the GM screen and run a session for your, gaming group.
Indeed. So this week, we're going to get into the new War of Immortals book that was recently released for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. There is a ton of cool stuff in this book, so we're not going to have time to cover everything. But we are going to cover the Exemplar and the Animist, the two new classes that were released with this book. We did talk about the playtest versions a while ago, but this week we're going to try making characters, at some low-level characters, with those new classes. So if this is the sort of thing you'd be interested in hearing more of, please check out the rest of our podcast episodes on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you happen to find us. We have recently on YouTube, I just saw this a moment ago, we have crossed 900 subscribers, which I'm very happy about. We've almost made it down the road to 1,000. We're almost there.
Yeah, we really appreciate everyone subscribing, and that's awesome.
I'm real excited. That was like one of the main goal for the channel this year was to get to 1,000, and it's completely in sight at the moment. So I think it'll happen.
Yeah, finally we do something that we said we were gonna do.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, but before we get into all the cool stuff with War of Immortals, we have to get to the most important part of the show, the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week.
That's the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week, brought to you by me. Hey guys, well, here's the tip of the week. I ran the other day, so I got to have a cool tip of the week idea. Maybe like an advanced GM maneuver, but in like Pathfinder and D&D, it is cool for you to take your player's stats and roll for them behind the screen, especially for like perception checks, or maybe like for them to notice something. I know that D&D has like passive perception, so it's kind of like something that you as a GM can roll off of. But here's like a secret thing that you can do is, instead of like rolling to see whether or not someone notices something, you can roll and see, and just based on the roll, to choose a player to notice the thing that you want to notice. Like, you don't have to say it's like a yes or no, like whether or not the party notices it, but you're rolling to really kind of help you spin the narrative of like how this person notices or how the party becomes aware of it. For instance, in our Rise of the Rulers campaign that I ran, I rolled for the players behind the screen. I asked them to pick some colors because I had different color dice. I rolled, added their perception bonuses they had. They all pretty much had the same one anyway, so it didn't really matter that much. But I was able to spin the narrative that one of our characters, playing a lizard person with their lizard fork tonguiness, was able to smell a situation before they got into it.
Yeah.
And it gave the player, it's like basically what you're doing is you're giving the players the hook to the thing that you want to lead them to by singling out somebody, saying like, oh, your character sees this, not like the party notices or whatever, right? So, and if multiple people roll well, then you can say like in some sort of combination, they can like verify with each other that something's up.
Yeah, I think that's also like the strength of Pathfinder 2nd Edition's like secret checks, is that like if the players roll a perception check and they know that they rolled low, then that sort of indicates like there is something there, unless you're just purposely messing with them. Like, I know you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but as you go around the world map, like, occasionally your character will roll, like, a perception check just to see if there's a trap or something around. And even if you fail that check, you still hear, like, the notification sound of your character just failed a check. So you know that there was something there. I think doing secret checks sort of avoids that, depending on how it goes. Obviously, if you're rolling something, players are going to notice it, but I think it makes it so that the players don't know that they failed, or they don't know they did exceedingly well, and then you can go from there into the narrative of like, well, who did go on this check? So how can I describe the information that this particular person is receiving with maybe their own specific senses that they have?
Yeah, exactly. Especially because the situation where they're faced with a bunch of like options, a bunch of doors, essentially, right? Like in a dungeon or something, and they just want to figure out which way to go. Like, you don't want to tell the players what to do, but you definitely everyone works based off of the amount of information that they're given. So if you describe something in grave detail or something, the players are more likely to poke it. Or if you describe something with not that much detail, then they might go away from it because why would you put so much effort into a thing, right? It's just kind of human nature. And like again, it saves the time from everybody checking each door and rolling a bunch of stuff and doing a bunch of checks. Like you could just have it go off one time, and then like basically the players just want to get to the plot anyway, right? They just want to do it safely. So if you have nothing to spring a trap onto them or whatever, then just get them to that plot. Like, but don't let them know that you're just doing that, right? I mean, Calvin knows because he was in the game. So there you go, Calvin.
I knew there was stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, if you describe, like, there's 3 doors, you hear noise coming from behind one door, the other doors are just there being doors, then,
Yeah. Yeah, it's not important right now. You can open those doors later. This is the door with all the stuff.
Exactly.
That's your tip of the week, folks.
Okay, let's hop into some character creation. So the plan for this week is to make a couple of characters up to level 4 in the new classes that were just released. These are going to be some very simple character concepts, but hopefully we get to do some interesting stuff with all the new class abilities that have been released. And instead of going alphabetically, I think we're going to start with the Exemplar, because I kind of had an idea in mind, actually. Earlier today, I saw a post on Twitter that was a video of a revolver, but the revolver was made of solid meteorite and gold, which is already pretty cool. And then someone added the caption, "Sword forged from a fallen star, but updated for, like, modern times." Well, not really modern times, just updated.
Yeah. Another weapon for a hero, right? Like
Exactly. And I thought that was a really cool idea, especially given that in War of Immortals, it's sort of describing the fallout of Gorham being killed, which includes his blood and his armor raining down on Galarian. So I like the idea of, like, a piece of Gorham's armor fell to the ground and someone took that metal and forged it into a pistol. And that's how we get this Exemplar.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So the Exemplar itself, it's a class that's, like, very directly tied to this. Part of me is wondering how you would bring Exemplar into a non-Galarian game, because it's very literally like, this is from a Galarian deity, a specific one that died.
Well, I mean, deities die all the time,
Yeah,
right? It
that's
doesn't
right.
have to be your deity in Galarian. It could be any deity. And, maybe it died a long time ago and you're digging up some sort of relic or something like that, right? Like, like whatever there's always, like, fallen gods and old gods and empires and nonsense, right, in the world. Like all fantasy MacGuffin, they're from some sort of apocalypse that happened, right? Like everything's always built on top of somebody else's grave. So
True.
don't worry. I think you could just port that over to whatever setting you want. And yeah, right. Like if you have gods in your setting, like why isn't one of them dead?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, why not?
yeah.
All right, so the thing with Exemplar, so again, like, they have these connections to this deity, like this divine power, and it comes in 3 different forms. And at first level, you will choose 3 different connections. These connections are called icons, and they can be a weapon, which is like a weapon with a unique power for you. They can be a body icon, which is something that's on your body specifically, that also can't be disarmed, like a weapon could be. And something that is worn.
Disarmed. Well,
Well, that's fair. That's a good point. If it's on your arm and you lose the arm, I actually don't know that happened. That could be an interesting complication to deal with. So yeah, with the Exemplar, what I wanted to start off with was the icons that I chose, because that sort of speaks to the sort of character I was making, and then I'll go into, like, ancestry and background and stuff. Because that was kind of what I started with. What I did want to do was choose one of each type. So the first one, if you're looking in the book, if you're reading along with us, it would be on page 43 where the icons start. And they show you different types. Like, you have your bands of imprisonment, and that would be a worn icon. And it would be something that's, like, worn on as, like, anklets or bracers or circlet, like a headband. It doesn't say specifically it has to be a certain thing. It just describes, like, how you would wear this item. like next to that you have Barrow's Edge, and that's just a melee weapon that does slashing or piercing damage. It can be any one of those items, any basic weapon, but now it has this icon applied to it. But it gives you all that freedom to just decide, what is the weapon my character wields? What is the special item that they have, or the special thing that's on their body, or the thing that they wear?
Oh, cool. The Bonds of Imprisonment is totally from Sun Wukong and the Journey to the West, because he had that magic circlet on his head to keep his shit together. So Triple Taka can be like, stop goofing around, monkey. Get your shit together.
I'm pretty sure that Sun Wukong is not in the Tian Sha book. Maybe, might be. Or in the upcoming Deity book that I forgot the name of.
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, I think he deserves it. That dude's crazy. That dude is literally Goku. So,
True.
So, which ones did you choose, Calvin?
So, because I had this cool pistol in mind, I wanted to pick something that used a ranged weapon, and I had a couple of options. The one that I didn't end up going with, but that I thought was sort of interesting, was Unfailing Bow. And the way it works is that with an icon, you have to transfer your spirit energy into it, and that'll activate a passive effect that it has. You can only have one active at a time. So with this one, if you have it active, you deal additional damage with your weapon strikes to the character that you've hit, along with additional damage on a critical hit. And then with that, you can use the Transcendence action. And the Transcendence action, it activates when you switch away from that particular icon. It activates that power, and then you switch your spark to a different item, and you have a new passive that you activate.
Oh, I see. Okay. So when you flip on Unfailing Bow, you get the Transcendence ability. When you
would get the Transcendence ability from the thing that you switched away from.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're still using Unfailing Bow, but you switch from another icon.
Yeah.
So you get the passive abilities for. So you're weaving in the play. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Unfailing Bow, it has a pretty interesting action. I just don't know how I would use it strategically. But when it activates an action called Arrow Splits Arrow, which is if you previously made a strike with your weapon, you don't have to roll the die on next strike, you just get the same result. It's not changed if you have a natural 1 or a natural 20, it doesn't change it doesn't give you another critical hit or whatever, but you don't have to roll the die again. And I thought that could be interesting, to avoid having to make a roll if you're certain that roll is going to be over the enemy's AC, even with the attack penalty. I thought it was an interesting effect, but the one that stood out to me more, especially given that I was thinking of a meteorite pistol, was Starshot, which is another thing you can put on a ranged weapon. When you have it activated, the passive effect with Starshot is that it deals 1 spirit splash damage per weapon damage die. So you can do some area effects when you make a shot with Starshot weapon. And again, this could be any ranged weapon. But the Transcendence action, the Giant Felling Comet, is that you shoot the weapon and it causes a detonation burst, a 5-foot burst within 60 feet of you. Every creature in that area has to make a reflex save or take damage equal to the normal strike damage with your weapon. And creatures that are larger than you specifically will have a penalty to that save, because you're firing a giant felling comet from your weapon.
That's pretty dope.
So yeah, but starting from there, I was like, okay, I need obviously I need a cowboy, I need a sheriff. So from there, I went to the Victor's Wreath, which is a worn icon. And it's supposed to be on headwear or a belt, like a sash. So because it can be headwear, I chose a cowboy hat, obviously. So when it's active, the passive ability, or the imminence, I should say, is that you inspire your allies. So allies within a 15-foot emanation of you get a +1 bonus to attack rolls. And then the Transcendence ability is you rally your allies, and everyone within your aura can immediately attempt a new saving throw against an ongoing negative effect or a condition currently affecting them. And they will get a bonus to that saving throw.
Nice. Yeah, it's a little flick of the hat or whatever. just like
Yeah.
touching the brim.
Just to, encourage your allies. You just resolve yourself a bit. You tip the hat and you you charge forward. And then lastly, I wanted a body icon, so I chose Scar of the Survivor because I thought it would give some interesting narrative ideas. Essentially, it's a scar on your body that commemorates a time someone tried to end your story and failed. And I thought that would give, some interesting possible backgrounds for this sheriff. So when it's active, you get the benefits of the Die Hard feat and a bonus to Fortitude saving throws. And when you use the Transcendence ability, which is No Scar But This, which I think is a name that stood out to us last time we looked at this. You basically decide no more scars for your body, and you regain hit points.
No scars but this. That's so good.
So I'm kind of picturing. Yep.
The names, man. Every time like there's like a good name to an ability,
Yes.
it like gets me going, dude. Like, like.
Yeah, the names for everything for the Exemplar are incredible.
The best part about it is like you can weave it into a sentence of like you telling the GM what your character's doing.
Yes.
But also still sounding like an epic hero, and this thing's like, you know what I mean? Like that's the sauce when you could explain what you're doing, but still be in character somehow, right? Like,
yeah, man, it's just really good. Like, it's just really good vibes, really good writing. I like how a lot of the Paizo stuff just really sparks creativity as you use it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, for this character, obviously I chose the sheriff background. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious. But I ended up making them a half-orc, because I thought that would be cool. And then I could get the ancestry feat, Monstrous Peacemaker, because as a half-human and half-orc, they can bridge the gaps between intelligent creatures and other, like, monstrous humanoids. Or I should say, between humans and other intelligent creatures, rather. But, like, you have better communication with, like, giants and goblins and kobolds and orcs. Because I'm thinking this is more of a diplomatic sheriff.
Well, I mean, it's either you get in line or you're gonna get the comet. Like,
Yeah, basically.
yeah, he's the sheriff with a heart of gold. Unless you cross the wrong path, desperado, and then you shoot him. With your comet gun.
Sheriff with a
comet. Yeah, like this comet
shot,
kills
bam.
giants. Yeah, this comet kills giants.
with a space iron on his hip.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah, also at first level, of course, you can get a class feat, and the class feat that I chose was Energized Spark. So another customization that you have with the Exemplar is that some of your stuff will do spirit damage, and if you have a feat like Energized Spark, you can change that spirit damage to another kind of damage. So because I was thinking of like stars and space for this character, I was thinking a star that's like fire damage. So the ability that I mentioned earlier with Starshot, how it does spirit splash damage, with this feat now that damage is fire damage.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And that was about all I got for the character so far. This was just me taking a few minutes in the morning of like, I had some inspiration, so I made a character. I also got them a pepper box, which is a firearm. It has a capacity of 3, because I wanted something that like they could fire multiple times, because that's just with the vibe. It was very expensive though, especially for first level.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was what I have so far, and I gave them a name, Sheriff Zeragal.
Zeragal. Nice.
Yeah. So just imagine this rough and tumble sheriff half-orc. Don't start trouble, there won't be any trouble.
This is your last chance, ogre. It's just there trying to reason with him. It's like, I don't want to have to put you into the ground, son. It's just like...
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Like, just, they're obviously in a desert climate, and they have to deal with, just occasional quote-unquote monstrous humanoids passing through, and sometimes a giant will come by, and if they're not chill, then you just gotta have a quick conversation. And this guy has the diplomacy to do it, but if someone starts trouble...
Nice.
So yeah, that was what I got for first level. I was thinking maybe we could do like a couple of levels, or I want to say like I want to make sure we get to both characters this episode. So let's maybe just
get a move on.
True.
Like,
well, let's do this. Let's just look at second level, and then we'll switch to the Animist, because I didn't really have much of an idea with that class yet, and I thought we could work on a character together.
Alright, so level 2, what do you get? You get an Exemplar skill feat.
Yeah, you get a skill...
Exemplar feat and a skill feat. Yeah.
Yes. So let's just look at the Exemplar feats first, up to level 2. I could take another Energized Spark if I wanted another type of damage, but I think it's cooler to look at the level 2 ones.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the feats you can get are more icon stuff, so you can imbue them into your weapon, or your body, or your worn items.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's twin stars, which I think is pretty sick, because you can split your one-handed icon into two.
Oh, yes.
Just right off the bat.
I was looking at that one before, too. Yeah, it splits your weapon into two, and it gives it the twin trait, which is when you attack with a twin weapon, you add bonus to the damage roll equal to the weapon's number of damage dice if you previously attacked with the other twin.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Especially with like a weapon that has like, if you land a critical hit with a gun and it gets like the deadly triggers and you roll a bunch of dice. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Oh, but then Vow of Mortal Defense sounds pretty cool. Although I guess this cowboy is mostly on the terrestrial plane trying to do good. I'm not sure if he's really dealing with good and evil that much.
Yeah, Vow of Mortal Defiance, like, it's a really good narrative thing. It's like, you've seen the wreckage left behind by gods and their servitors as they play in their great war of good and evil. You've come to the only reasonable conclusion. They all must be cut from their silken thrones. It's pretty cool description. It lets you choose a creature within 60 feet that has the holy or unholy trait. And the first time each round you do damage to that creature, you do an additional 1d6 spirit damage.
I mean, that might be kind of cool if, let's say, in this hypothetical main character scenario, that the sheriff is actually like, protecting the lands, because, like, I was gonna say Starfall, but it's not Starfall. I was gonna say,
God's Reign is what it's called.
God's Reign, yes. The thing fell from the sky. And now all these bad dudes are juiced up with demon powers, and all these demon banditos are running around.
Demon banditos, oh no! Okay, yeah, actually, yeah. Like, this guy, he sees, like, the gods do battle with each other, and one of them dies. It's still somehow mortal people's problem. The gods can't even kill each other without making it the problem of mortals.
Yeah, so he could just be cheesed. I mean, maybe. It's I like the twin star thing, because having two guns is cool. But I definitely can see this character doing a speech about how gods are, or like all the immortal people are like screwing around. It's always with the, like, the regular people who have to suffer, right? Like,
yeah. So he takes a piece of metal from the gods and forges his own weapon with it.
Yeah, maybe that's how he got a scar or something.
Ooh.
Because of, like, maybe he's just like doing his job, but then like the meteor came down and like blew up his family or something. I don't know. Or like, he doesn't blow up his family, but like he definitely lost somebody that he cared about, and he's like, and he gets the scar from it, and he gets the metal, and he's like, I know what I have to do, and he forges it to a gun, and now he just hunts down.
Oh, okay. Like, what about this? The metal and the god's blood and everything, it rains down from the sky. There's this evil cult to an evil deity that finds a chunk of metal, and they want to do some sort of ritual with it, and that involves kidnapping people, sacrificing them to something, and one of them is probably someone close to the sheriff, because of course we need that tragic story. And this guy, he's just a normal guy at this point, so he has to fight his way through all these cultists. He finally, like, manages to get through all of them, but he's not there in time to save the person he cares about. And at the end of this battle, he ends up being struck, and it leaves this, like, horrible scar on him. I was picturing, like, a bullet wound, basically, like, very close to the heart, like, 1 inch over would have been fatal, but it just somehow leaves this scar. But he's able to survive. He's, like, the last survivor of this entire encounter, and all that's left is him, several dead bodies around him, and this piece of metal. So he takes it and builds his resolve that, no longer will the gods control his life, either directly or through their servants, whatever they may be.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty dope.
I do kind of like this. I don't know.
All right, let's go the second level. It's good because we have so many options that'll just sound so cool. Like that means this book's good.
Like Vow of Mortal Defiance, like it gives you so much story stuff, but Twin Stars is also cool.
Yeah, but 2 guns though, like all this backstory, but 2 guns, like come on. 2 guns for the price of 1, can't beat that, dude. It's 50% off.
Right.
All right, let's go more because these sound good. Hurl at the horizon is a thrown weapon, so let's just move on. No, that's dumb. Leap and falls imbued onto your body. You reinforce your legs with divine energy, and you can leap the battlefield as powerful as a salmon clearing a waterfall. Damn, bro, salmon really do it too. Oh, cool. Well, that's not that cool.
So yeah, the passive for Leap the Falls, it gives you powerful leap and quick jump, even if you don't meet the prerequisites for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's alright.
It's useful. Yeah, it's useful, but it's not as flashy as like
that's 2 guns.
Yeah, or 2 guns. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Red gold, mortality.
I was looking at red gold mortality.
Yeah.
So after you hit a creature, it then has to make a will save before it can be healed.
Oh.
So if something would heal it has to make a will save first.
Oh. I mean, if this dude's hunting demons, I think a lot of them have fast healing, so that would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, it just says when it would regain hit points. Oh yeah, it does say fast healing. Oh, you're right.
Wow, it's really good. I don't know. I'm partial about the 2 stars. Like,
yeah. Same.
I don't know, guys. What do you guys think is cool? I mean, it's only level 2, but I mean, yeah, it's wild, dude.
I mean, I guess what I could do is I could switch out Energized Spark at first level, and then just take Vow of Mortal Defiance at first level, and then Twin Stars at second level.
That's true. I mean, like, I don't know what stuff is really like resistances and weaknesses and stuff like that. I guess there's probably going to be more with cool stuff in this book the when you go up and like the different stuff that's available. But I don't think there's a lot of things resisting like spirit damage and things like that, or it'd be applicable. It's just extra damage anyway. Or even if you chose just to fire, it's going to be like, I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So,
it's cool.
At first level, Sheriff Zeragal takes a Vow of Mortal Defiance. And then at second level, he has 2 guns.
He has 2 guns.
Okay.
Maybe you could name them. You could name them.
Yeah, it does. The way it describes the Twin Stars feat, it says that the copies are like mirrored except for some different features. Like one can have a sun motif and the other can have like a moon motif on it, which I think is cool.
Stop. Stop with the anime nonsense. This isn't even my final form. He pulls out the 2 guns. He separates them. Oh man, that's so funny. Cool. All right. Let's go to the Animist.
I know I said we were only going to do level 2, but at level 3, you do get the root epithet, and I did want to take a quick look at that, because it's sort of how you build your title as an Exemplar. It gives you like a not a surname, but a the thing that comes after a name.
Yeah, like a title. Like
I guess title is the right term. But it's basically like Sheriff Zeragal the Brave, or the Cunning, or the Radiant, and each of them gives you like a different effect.
Yeah, they're so good. There's like the Proud, the Depth. Wow, that sounds pretty good, dude. Oh, he says you're trained in thievery and stealing stuff and throwing stuff. It's not that good. There's a leader one with diplomacy. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, like the Radiant, which lets you heal allies. Or the Proud, which sort of gives enemies a penalty to attack rolls.
I don't know. That one. That was pretty cool.
does seem pretty cool. You know what? Let's let the audience decide which epithet this guy should get. Comment down below which one you think works best for this character we've come up with.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know which one it would be, but they all sound pretty cool. Although I just wish that like the deft one was a little bit less about stealing, a little bit more about
Well, you can use a free action to reload your weapon, reload or draw your weapon.
Oh, okay, never mind. He's deft. That's probably number one in my book. Apparently, I just need to keep reading. Having the ability to like reload a gun really fast.
Yeah, and this is after you activate your Transcendence, so after you switch something. So when you do that, you just reload as a free action, and then you also get the Transcendence ability.
Oh man, what if there's like a shard of the meteor in his body, and when he shoots the gun, he's actually just shooting the bullets from his heart. Like
he doesn't shoot with his hands; he shoots with his heart.
His heart, yeah. That's so good.
Okay, I do like deft, but yeah, comment below what you think would work for this character, or other feats you would put on a character like this, or exemplars you think you want to try to make. Check out Path Builder if you want to do that for free, because Exemplar and Animist are on Path Builder, which updates pretty quickly. Like the book just came out and it's already there.
I bet.
All right, let's speed run through making an Animist. I don't want to rush through it too much because Animist has a ton of options, and that's I think what makes it the more complex of the two. Like Exemplar is pretty variable, but Animist, you can do quite a lot of stuff with it because you essentially have 2 spell lists to manage.
Yeah. Right, because you're like basically channeling like a spirit, right? Like the spirit of a deity or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can choose which spirit you want to channel, and that spirit will come with its own different kinds of spells and its own different like spell tradition, which could be different from yours.
That sounds fun and complicated. All right.
So yeah, let's talk Animist. So the way the Animist works is you summon different apparitions, and these apparitions are spirits that you are connected to. You choose, I think it's 2 at first level. You can choose a couple different ones that you could potentially connect to, and when you refocus or do your daily preparations, you can change which one is your primary apparition, and that'll give you like different spells and effects and such.
All right, cool. Then let's start choosing, I guess.
Let's check out these apparitions. Again, like they have different skills, they have spells. They have a vessel spell, which is a spell unique to the apparition, or I guess rather a spell that the apparition gives you, and an avatar, which is when you cast the avatar ability, which I believe is a higher level feat for the Exemplar.
Yeah, and like they have different practices where some could be like a liturgist. That's a weird word, but liturgist, where it's like through performance and song, you like channel this entity, like a medium, which is like a conduit of direct spiritual stuff, or like a seer, or my favorite, the shaman. You get to bring that stuff into the physical world.
Yeah, you can be a different type of animist at base. Yeah. You can make a shaman. You summon your apparitions into physical form.
Yeah, so we get a familiar. A spirit familiar feats. That's cool.
Yeah, you gain the spirit familiar feat, which is when you attune with your daily when you attune to your apparitions during your daily preparations, you can choose to dedicate a small amount of your life force to allow one of them to physically manifest as a familiar, which gets the spirit trait. If your familiar is slain or destroyed, you lose all other benefits from the apparition until you re-manifest to the familiar during your next daily preparations. So this is just how this class gets a familiar, which, can take whichever shape.
Yeah, and like you get that. So let's go look at the actual apparitions. Choose some of those dudes.
Yeah. So yeah, the apparitions have they have very cool names. There is the Crafter in the Vault, which is a spirit that's found in dungeons, forges, or other places where creation and injuries can occur concurrently. They like to partner with animists who... Yep.
The spirit of dungeons.
Yeah, dungeon spirit.
Dungeon spirit. Oh no. That's cool.
The crafters, they like to partner with Animists who complement them on their creations, but become jealous when anyone else intrudes on their expertise. And that includes casting spells that appear on their apparition list. So one thing I do like about this, though, is that it gives the player and the GM the ability to like create these other spirit NPCs that the Animist is connected to. Then it can cause problems, because what if someone else in the party like casts mending, and this spirit is just watching like, oh, I would have mended it better. You didn't do it correctly.
Piece of work. Yeah. That sounds so fun. This is like such a good opportunity for roleplay.
There's like this judgmental familiar just like hanging around someone else at the party who's just like repairing their shield or whatever. It's like, nope, you did it wrong.
Yeah, he's just talking shit the entire time. Like, yeah. So you got your Custodian Grove Guardians, where it's a spirit of like cultivation and natureiness.
Yeah, they can be. Some of them can be cultivated by the spiritual essence of the location itself, which is kind of cool. They are peaceful, quiet, and averse to conflict. God, I really like that they add sort of like personality to these spirits, because for me, if someone has a character like this, that gives me some ideas of like, well, what sort of spirit is hanging around this person, and what sort of things are they going to be doing, like in and out of combat. Because a custodian of groves and gardens, they're averse to conflict, so they might not want to get into a fight. They might try to encourage like a peaceful solution, and if that keeps not working, then what are they going to do?
Yeah, because it can even, I like that they have their own kind of goals, not like aspects about like, yeah, like personalities, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But like kind of like these personalities that aren't, you know, easy to work with. Sometimes, right? Like you could totally see situations where there's friction and then there's like compromise or whatever, right? So you have like a moment where you have to talk your spirit into doing something it doesn't want to or whatever.
Right?
So,
like, I like the idea of your spell book is a person you have to talk to.
Yeah, you have to convince being like, no, this is a good idea. You could just make it like a Cinderay and just be like, Baka, like the entire time. Some of these are just kind of spooky.
Yeah, the lurker in Devouring Dark is kind of spooky.
Yeah. Man. I still like Steward of Stone and Fire. It's mountains and volcanoes and fire and explosions. It's just the easy stuff.
They are quick to anger and slow to forget.
Oh man, I like that, and like it's just Pele. Vanguard of Warring Waters, Witness to Ancient Battles. Witnesses to ancient battles may be lingering remnants of soldiers who never returned from their last deployment, or restless souls of warriors whose final contest left them unfulfilled. Or apparitions may be Valkyries or other beings from beyond, naturally drawn to sites of death and battle. Okay, hear me out.
Yeah?
Okay, so like, do you ever watch the anime Shaman King? I mean, this is basically Shaman King.
I think you did bring it up when we saw the playtest for this. I think you did bring up that specifically.
Yeah, so we should just, if we're gonna make a level 1 character, we should do Witness of Ancient Battles and have it be like an ancient warrior that you're channeling, that you picked up. But yeah, because Shaman King is like that. You're channeling they're shamans channeling spirits into objects or themselves to get the cool spirit powers that they have.
All right, so the Witness to Ancient Battles. Did we come up with let's do the second apparition, and then let's figure out like actual character stuff, because we still don't know who or what the Animist is that we're dealing with here.
Well, he has a cool samurai best friend.
Yes.
It's a ghost.
Samurai ghost best friend.
Yes. I'd be cool to maybe like have, so we have 2 spirits at the beginning, right?
Yes.
Cool. I mean, we could have like a fun, cool, honorable person and a cool, crazy person be like the good and evil. Oh, actually, I don't know. You don't even know Guilty Gear Calvin, but there's a character called Dizzy, and like long story short, she's just basically like the reincarnation of the first bad guy from the first Guilty Gear, but she's like this really nice innocent girl. But she has these two beings a part of her power. One's called Necro, the other one's Undyne, and one's like a Grim Reaper type character. The other one's kind of like an angel, and they're like fire and ice powers. But like Necro's always trying to kill everybody, and she always has to stop them. It's really funny. So like I like the idea of just like somebody who was born who doesn't understand why they're connected to these spirits, but like they are. And she's like, but like she's constantly trying to stop them from one of them from killing a bunch of people all the time.
There is the Reveler in Lost Glee, which are twisted apparitions that appear in desolate and abandoned places where people once found great joy. And they take joy in causing harm or discomfort to others. And they don't like hanging out with animists who fail to laugh at their antics.
Oh, sure, that sounds good.
So just an absolute troublemaker, and then this resolute warrior are both the spirits that this animist is channeling.
Yeah.
Okay, who is this character?
I don't know. Come up with a cool name.
I'm kind of picturing like a halfling, but I'm always picturing a halfling.
Then they're a halfling.
Fair enough. There is a background called Seer of the Dead.
Oh, now we're cooking.
It's where your character, you've been gifted with the ability to see and speak with the departed. This could have manifested at your birth, or when a chance encounter linked you with the spirits of the dead. I think that's basically Animist without the cool powers. So
yeah, so they can double down on the ghost thing. Okay, so they're a shaman. They are inexplicably linked to speaking the undead, so that's kind of a cool shaman thing. They have two. One's an evil spirit, the other one's an honorable warrior. Yeah, I like the idea of they're either like constantly having to move because of the troublemaker one, or the honorable one keeps wanting to fight people.
Keeps wanting to right some wrong or some injustice, and the other one's just like, no, let's have some fun.
Yeah, exactly, right. But like in the same way, it's like every time they show up to a town, there's always some bad guy, and like the honorable one wants to defeat him, but the other guy, to convince him to do it, like they have to do it kind of sus, so like he has some joy in it as well. But that's why they can't stick around even though they're the hero. It's like they do it, but then it doesn't come out as cool. It's mostly just like mean, and then they have to keep moving.
Yeah, that's not the one that you want as your primary, because I think that'll make them like if you channel them out into the familiar, that's the one that's gonna sneak off and just do something wacky while you're not looking.
I don't know, that would be pretty funny. Oh, I'm like imagining just like having both of them just yell at each other and have like their own fights. Like and the person in the middle is just trying to she's so small and they're like so much bigger than her, but like them, and they're just like, no, please stop. We can't get along.
What's a cool halfling name? Urana Silvira. As I'm looking at this random name generator. Oh, Hagwin's pretty good.
Oh, alright, Hagwin.
Hagwin the Animist. Two spirits, both in conflict with each other. Okay, you're a spellcaster, and your spells are based on your wisdom. So let's pump up the jam. Let's pump up the wisdom here. Oh, perfect. The background lets you boost wisdom. The class boosts wisdom. We'll just apply another wisdom boost. We'll get wisdom to 4. Some constitution for this character, maybe, as one of the free boosts. And then what should the last couple of ability boosts be at first level? I don't think strength is going to be something they use.
Maybe dexterity?
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe like a little bit of charisma? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, they've had to be a diplomat for 2 spirits. They know a bit of how to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make them trained in diplomacy as well. So with the Animist class, they are trained in religion, and then either nature or occultism. I think occultism fits this character better so far.
Yeah, occultism for sure.
And then they have another skill, stealth maybe? I'd always like people having stealth because it always comes up.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they have an extra skill here. But probably just medicine is fine for that. Okay, what kind of halfling are we talking about here?
Whichever one you want.
The gutsy halfling. Nomadic halfling.
Yeah.
I think that. Nah, that's perfect. Okay, ancestry feats. Halfling luck, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got some stuff. We do have some spells. We have shield and prestidigitation as cantrips. Shield coming from the warrior spirit and prestidigitation from the troublemaker. And then the warrior gives us sure strike at first level as a spell, which is you take an action next time you make an attack roll before the end of your turn. You roll twice and take the better result.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically sort of like advantage from D&D.
Yeah, the spirit gives you guidance. Like actual guidance, like maybe that you channel their cool skills.
Although it is better than True Strike from D&D because then you can attack in the same action. You don't have to spend your regular action casting a spell and then wait till the next turn to actually attack.
Is that how it works in D&D?
With True Strike,
bonus
yeah.
Thing?
I mean, okay. They actually might have changed it now that I think about it. They might have changed it in the new 2024 book.
Ah, okay. Weird.
That really should be a bonus action though, right? Like... Anyway,
I mean, listen, we don't play that game for a reason. I
don't want to be mean. They already don't get PDFs. I don't want to be mean.
They don't get PDFs?
I was actually genuinely trying to find a D&D PDF for a game that's upcoming because it's based on 5e, so it carries over some 5e feats. So I was like, I don't mind just having like the PDF of the book, just so I can look at it for the feats. Like I'll pay for that. I don't mind. I couldn't find it.
That's weird, dude.
I have to get the physical copy of the book, and it comes with the PDF, like a digital copy. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't even come with the digital copy. It would come with like D&D Beyond. That's where the rules would be.
Oh, so you input what you bought, and then D&D Beyond would basically have it in the app. I see. Yeah. Because I did play in a 5e game, and I had to go to D&D Beyond, but I wasn't able to I would have to create my own feats if I wanted to add something I didn't purchase. And then I was like, but I could just use this free app though, like for Pathfinder.
We're so spoiled, to be honest.
We are. It's silly. Oh man. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we should probably not be too mean. But yeah, we got Sure Strike and we got Dizzying Colors from our little troublemaker, which you can use to dazzle and stun or blind enemies, depending on how they do on a will save.
So wait, when you have to channel them to get access to the spell, if I have it correct, or do you just get it?
So they give you access to their spell lists, but their specific abilities, their vessel spells, that is a unique thing to them. That's like your focus spell, basically.
Oh, right. So, like, when you use your focus spell, you're channeling them specifically.
Yeah. So, with the Spirit of Battle being the primary one, it guides your attacks and movements with the spell Embodiment of Battle.
So, like, you have to choose your primary one at the beginning? Or, like, when you prepare, I'm assuming?
Yeah, during your daily preparations, you can choose your primary.
Ah, nice. Okay, cool. Choose who you're going to listen to.
Basically. Actually, I think you can... Because it says that you can choose during your daily preparations. Yeah, you can actually just, choose one from the entire list, basically. I do like the idea of having a connection with some specific ones, but you don't have to do that. You can just choose whichever one you want.
Oh, that's even funnier. I mean, it wouldn't be so funny because the GM probably has to figure out how to... You have to figure out between you and the GM, all the personalities. But yeah, it would be kind of fun to either have specific ones that you call on, or maybe ones from the area. Because I could totally see you calling on a legendary hero from a specific part of town or something like that, or the area, right? And then it's every time you do it, it's somebody different. That would be kind of cool.
Or the the Custodian of Groves and Gardens for depending on if you're in a more naturey area, if you're out in the forest or something like that. You can switch it up, but I think it would be more fun to have specific ones. But also, I can see myself enjoying running. I gotta come up with a silly voice for each of these guys.
Yeah, and like the idea of like just like the local deity or whatever, right? The local forest spirit's different versus from like if you're in a desert, it's like a gecko or something. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about this class. It's very versatile.
Mhm.
But yeah, the focus spell you get from the warrior, the witness to ancient battles. With it, your proficiency with martial weapons is equal to your proficiency with simple weapons. You get a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with weapons or unarmed attacks. You get reactive strike, which is very good. And you get a penalty to your spell attack modifiers. But you do better with your like regular attacks. And this is sustained for up to a minute. I can see that being
It also
useful.
changes your skills for every apparition. I'm sure there's a way to have more than one apparition manifest at the same time. It would be too
think
easy
there's
for
a
them
feat
not
for
to do
that.
that. Yeah, it'd be too easy for them not to put that in.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's a feat or if it's a class feature. Oh no, it is a class feature. At 7th level, you get a third one that you can put in. So like, yeah, you have your primary that gives you the vessel spell and your like the focus spell or whatever, and the other was to give you like passive stuff to your spell list. And then at 7th level, you can get another one that gives you more stuff to your spell list.
You're like a Pokemon trainer for spirits.
I imagine they would hate that comparison.
They don't know
very
what Pokemon is. They're like, yeah, that sounds cool. All right, yeah. I mean, okay, so for first level feat, I like Circle of Spirits. You're able to just kind of cycle out. I like this good and bad thing where you're able to like cycle out for an action and choose a different one just in case. Or Relinquish Control, where you get like a +4 bonus to saves and effects that give you +4 status bonus on saves against spells and effects that give you the controlled condition or attempts to influence your actions.
Yeah, you basically let the spirit possess your body instead of whatever else is trying to control you. Because then you can only do certain actions like Recall Knowledge, Step, Strike, cast the spells you get from your apparitions, like the apparition spells or the vessel spells, or something that has the apparition trait that you get from your apparitions. It reminds me a little bit of the, I forget the name, the NHP that comes with the Blackbeard in Lancer. Sekhmet.
Yeah, Sekhmet. You can't, you only could turn it on or off. Like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, you just, you have to sit back and then just let something else control your body.
Yeah. So yeah, either like that or a Circle of Spirits where you're able to cycle through, flip back and forth between the two. That would be kind of cool to do, like on the fly during a fight. Really kind of seeing how the shaman, I forget the shaman's name that we're creating.
Oh, Hagwin.
Hagwin's ability to work with two very different spirits.
Oh yeah. I think that's perfect for this character.
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, they would get other class feat at 4th level. They don't get a class feat at 1st level, which I think is interesting, but you do get a lot of stuff anyways.
Yeah, it's because the class feat at 1st level, it basically is chosen by the type of shaman that you are, I believe.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, because you get the spell.
Like you get the free
for
feat
shaman. Yeah, the free familiar one, spirit familiar. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. The shaman sounds cool. I mean, heck yeah, I want to be a Pokemon trainer.
Do it.
Yeah.
And since we did something like this for the last character, for this character, if they were to get to 7th level and have a 3rd apparition, again, like you can cycle these out as you want, but I do like the idea of it being a regular figure in their life having these apparitions. So what would the 3rd one be? And I'm going to throw that out to the audience and see if they check out the book or if they check it out on Path Builder. I don't think Archives of Nethys has been updated yet, but when that's updated as well, check out the list there and let us know which one you think would fit for this character. I do kind of like the Crafter one, because I think there's a lot of fun that could be had there, depending on the party.
Yeah, you got a jock, you got an asshole, and you got a nerd. Like, yeah, you're just some smart person.
Yeah, the middle.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to touch on for either character, Sheriff Zeragal or Hagwin? Do you think these two would get along? I don't know. Zeragal seems to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
I mean, that's for sure. But like, I think that depends. Like Hagwin is good at dealing with difficult people. So if Hagwin rolls into town and Sheriff has a problem, and he's like, I have to deal with all these demon assholes, and Hagwin's like, assholes? I'm an expert at those. Like, I think they would get along.
Yeah, true. I think like you talked about Zeragal being like a diplomatic sheriff, but if there's a point where things are just too much for him, I think Hagwin would be the kind of character who could help out there.
Yeah. This buddy cop duo that's formed. Like Hagwin, but like Sheriff has to gets yelled at by all the spirits they all hang out with, so they actually just have like they're rolling like 5 people deep like all the time.
Yeah, it's a whole squad each time.
But like Hagwin just has like 4 dads like that are just like
they're dead. Oh no, it's too cute.
Oh man,
I actually really like that.
that's so good. And then like maybe like a very heroic sacrifice from the sheriff, and then Hagrid gets to have another member join.
Oh,
spirit.
That would be incredible, actually.
I'm just saying, this is just kind of off the cuff, right? Like, this book's crazy. You can do so much with it. I'm glad this book exists. Like, how these ideas are solidified into this place.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Like, I really like going through these Pathfinder books, because it's so much stuff that sort of sparks so many ideas. If only we had time to do every single thing in the world.
I know. Surely technology has advanced far enough we're able to do stuff like this, right? All the time. But yeah, I mean, this book is crazy because they even have like servant powers and like different feats and multi-classing stuff and like new subtypes or archetypes, sorry, and like the mythical stuff, as well as like more fleshed out stuff for Nephilims. So like you can like get a lineage feat, right, and just be like, oh, I'm Aeon bound, so I have Aeon bound powers, right? Like I'm a half celestial, or not celestial, from Axis.
Yeah, there is stuff, right? Like I really want to do an episode on the mythic stuff, because there's a lot of cool things here. There's paths to immortality, which I think is a cool idea. There's mythic destinies that you can try to rise to.
Oh, there's mythical feats that are just like you spend mythical points. Like I would like to go for the mythical rules, because again, yes. I think I was making Calvin, I was joking with Cal before this, where it's like they keep slapping mythical on stuff. It's like, because in the book there's like a mythical ogre and a mythical griffin. I was like, these people need to be stopped. Like,
they can't all be mythical.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like quite a bit of fun stuff in here, as well as like lore about deities from Galarian. And you know, if you don't run in Pathfinder, then you could take them for your own world that you're using and replace them, or take their ideas and reshape them. I mean, it's just good.
Oh man, there's a mythic kaiju, and it gives you suggestions on how to use it in different levels of campaigns.
Yeah, and there's like a mythic vault with mythic gear, doing mythic things.
Yeah,
mythic artifacts.
We
mythic
gotta
rituals.
We gotta take this book apart like one piece at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Shadow Piercer. Was this a stealth spear? Okay. No, we're getting too distracted here.
All right, we'll take a look at this on another podcast. We'll call it the Mythical Podcast, a mythical episode where we go over everything that has mythical in its name.
Exactly. So if y'all want to see that episode, or our upcoming 200th episode, because this is what, 196?
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, we got to figure out what to do. Actually, since we're only into the outro, first off, thanks a ton, everybody out there, for listening. listening to us gush about more awesome Pathfinder books. If you want to hear more of this sort of thing, just again, subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or other podcast platforms. We are basically everywhere. We're in a lot of places. I don't know everywhere that we are. I just kind of put the podcast in as many spots as it would let me. We're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Castbox, we're on Radio Public, we're on Pocket Casts, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Overcasts. We are on a different site, because I googled the channel name, and it came up on a different podcast website, and I didn't submit it there, but it's just there, and I was like, okay, whatever. So we're everywhere.
Yeah, so, tell your friends about the One with Dice podcast if you want to hear more of us, or, if you want to share us to your friends, go for it, or listen to us wherever you want, or on whatever device you want, or whatever platform you want. Calvin has made sure that is possible, and again, I'm super excited to be getting close to 200 episodes. It's terrifying but exciting at the same time, the amount of our voices are on the internet.
Yeah.
the amount of AIs that can be generated from our voice is insane.
Oh, no.
And the accuracy. So if we ever start sounding kind of weird, it's the robots.
They come for our voice. Speaking of our 200th episode, we still need some cues to A for that episode. Planning to do another Q&A thing, or maybe something else, who knows, but another Q&A episode would be really fun to do. And then maybe a look back at the previous 100 episodes.
Yeah,
and if you are on YouTube, please check out the links in the description below. If you're into the Lancer RPG, there's a bunch of Lancer writers and creators linked below for you to go check out. I also want to shout out, of course, the Untold Stories project, where I'm at occasionally. They're going into their one-shot season, so check out all their cool one-shots. Ramon, I haven't given you an update on the game that I'm in there for a while, but we're just on like a mid-season break at the moment. But there is a lot of stuff going on. And me, the normal archer guy, I got the final blow on the main boss, and I was very happy about that.
Yeah, of course. That's why you're there, Calvin.
Oh, there
to
was
remind everybody that people do need regular people in their lives.
Exactly. Oh man, there was the fight where because we got transported to Barovia, so we ended up at the middle of Curse of Strahd, and it also served as sort of like the finale of a Curse of Strahd campaign that had been streamed on a different channel before. So people who were in that had to play like two characters, and that was pretty cool. But also, we were fighting a bunch of spirits because my character, being a foolish fool, he found out that there were some souls that got kidnapped, and one of them included someone he cared about. So he was like, "Screw it! I don't care who's done this. We're gonna go get them back. Let's go fight the people who are more powerful than Strahd." So there were a bunch of evil spirits, and there was a bunch of stuff that happened in that fight, but I did nail a really cool shot from really far away, and I'm pretty happy about that because there was an enemy running away because one of our party members they got out of the fight because they went to basically save those spirits and reduce the power the enemies had. And then one of the enemies was like, "Oh no, I can't let that happen." And I was like, "I can't let you not let that happen." It sounded better there. It was just a really cool shot. Anyway, I feel really cool in that game, and I really enjoy it, and hopefully people go check it out.
All right, we'll link him, Calvin. Link him to the stuff.
Yeah.
So you can see how cool Calvin made that cool shot. Probably said some sick one-liners like, nailed it, or something like.
I shoot with my heart.
I shoot with my heart.
Oh man, yeah, it's been really fun to hang out over there. I'm looking forward to whatever wacky finale happens in next year, and then maybe more Starhaven, maybe. That's going on over there. As for over here, we've got gaming streams. Please swing by and check them out. I do want to get back into those because I really want to hop back into Baldur's Gate. But I think that is it for this episode. I don't think there's anything else to say. Ramon, you have anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, for all of our spirit channeling and God's blood wielding GMs and players out there, just remember to keep on winning with dice, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.